Welcome to Financial Confidence for High-Achieving Women, the go-to podcast for women of color entrepreneurs overwhelmed by their finances and ready to transform their money mindset, take control of their money, and build sustainable wealth. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, certified financial coach and CEO of Money Honey LLC. I believe that abundance is your birthright and that good money management doesn't mean cutting out the joy from your life. Stick around to learn how you can build intentional money habits that align with your biggest lifestyle goals. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome to episode 37 of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money. And if there's one thing that has transformed my life, my business, and my relationship with money, it has been being in the right rooms. In today's episode, I'm talking about masterminds, not in a buzzword way, but in a real lived experience way. I want to share what these spaces have given me emotionally, how they've helped me grow practically, and why I believe community is such a powerful part of building wealth. I've learned that you don't build wealth in isolation. You build it in conversation, in proximity, in connection, and sometimes even in silence, just by watching how other women think, move, and speak about their lives. So today I'm taking you behind the scenes of my own journey with masterminds, what I've gained from them, and why they matter so much to me, especially as I've been creating something new for women who are ready to get to their next level. And if anything I share today resonates with you, keep listening, because at the end, I'm going to invite you to something I've been building that carries all of this energy into one intentional space. Masterminds have truly given me so much, and as an entrepreneur, it's easy to feel lonely sometimes, especially if you are someone in the online space primarily like me. And it has allowed me to feel like I'm not alone in the different things that I'm dealing with, like situations in my business, whether it's, working with team members and hiring and trying to get marketing together. And, for some, it's organizing finances and how do I understand what all of these things mean? And, do I have the right legal foundations in place? All sorts of questions that you have. And, especially as a high achiever, you're wondering, am I doing this right? Masterminds are a great place to really bring all of you and let the walls down a little bit and be able to talk freely and openly about what's really going on in business so that way you can elevate. And that's just the business side. Like there's other ways that you can mastermind about different things, but my experience is primarily going to be from business. And the other cool part was being in a space where ambition is normalized and it's great to have big goals. It's encouraged to have the big goals. They're going to support you as you work to receive all that you are striving to do in this world and in your company. And seeing other women think bigger, move differently, and talk openly about money really expands you. It allows you to see your own situation in a different way, but it also encourages you to think bigger as well. It encourages you to expand what your vision is for what you are looking to achieve. And the mastermind is where I really felt comfortable to host the Rich Bitch Retreat for the first time. That space that I was in where women were like, hell yeah, that's needed. We need to spend this time talking about finances. And sometimes you can just kind of get in your own head with the what ifs that you stop yourself from taking action. And so being in the space where people are like, I see it, I see what you're trying to do, and then offer to help you, offer to give you resources. That is a beautiful space to be in because wealthy women support each other. We are here to help each other succeed. And that is what you are a part of in the mastermind space and what I've experienced. And there's nothing like that relief point of oh my gosh, it's not just me. When people share their real challenges, you're just it's a sigh of relief that you're not the only one navigating something, or that, someone else is going through it too, or someone else has already overcome it. Like, it's a beautiful space to be in. And, like one of the biggest gifts of masterminds for me has been realizing that I'm not crazy, I'm not behind, and I'm not doing this wrong. I'm just in the messy middle like everyone else who's building something meaningful. Now, next, like what masterminds have given me, like practically, let's say. So, getting advice from people who've already navigated what you're going through, like I just said, that has really been amazing, because especially when you're in your own stuff, you can think that no one else has gone through it, or that there's no way out of it, or just because the way that you know to solve it at that moment might not be the way that you need to go when you are resolving this problem. And so when you can bounce that idea off of somebody else who has already navigated that, then you're able to look at your own situation with new eyes and maybe decide another path is best for you in terms of solving it. And that has really helped me navigate some things in my business. And there's the part about being in community where we get to learn from watching others be coached. This was kind of the surprise benefit that I got out of being in a mastermind, was that when, someone else was in the hot seat talking about, the current thing that they are navigating, and hearing that it was a similar situation as me, I was able to pay attention and gain something from it, because again, as I just said, like you can be in your own head about things. And so having that objective lens of hearing them talk about it and not being so intimately involved in the details like you are with your own thing, it allows you to say like, oh, maybe I need to approach this differently. Maybe I need to wait a little bit before I jump to that conclusion. And so that's probably one of those things where, you could even have a question that you want to ask, and then someone asks a similar way, or maybe even a different way, but yet your question still gets answered. It's amazing. And like, I really like to go back to that part about like making those decisions, because you're not isolated in your own thinking. And so it allows you to see different aspects and angles of the decision that you're making around, whatever your situation is, that may lead you to making a decision that actually works better for you. And sometimes the biggest breakthroughs don't even come from my own coaching. Like they come from watching someone else be coached and realizing like, oh, that applies to me too. And that's like, honestly, like when we think about the practical parts of masterminds, that's really where I've gotten the most from them. And now let's get into community and how it accelerates wealth. So wealth isn't built in isolation. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Wealth is not built in isolation. Even if somebody says that they are self-made, they literally did not do it by themselves. They may have by themselves had the idea, but at some point you have to have some support to build the wealth that you want. And honestly, when you do allow that support to come in, it makes the wealth building process feel slightly easier. And your nervous system is going to expand when you're around others who are stretching too. And your ideas are going to expand. There's possible collaborations that happen. There are women that I've collaborated with in masterminds, or I've been on their podcast, or I have, spoken to their communities. We collaborate, and that also allows you to be with a community that, you might not have had access to before. And when you're around others who are doing big things, like you probably always hear that part about like, you are whoever you surround, like the 5 people that you surround yourself with most, like that's who you are essentially. And this allows you to think about, who am I surrounding myself with? And what are they believing? What are they thinking is possible for their life? And am I playing small? Like, I think that one of the things when I was in the mastermind community was like, wait, I'm playing so small. I felt like I could only set like a certain goal because I hadn't done something before. And it really did stretch me to say like, no, like, let's just go for it. Why do I need to hold myself back? And I wouldn't have had that belief or that ideology of really just going for something and putting myself out there in that way if it wasn't for being surrounded by other women who are doing the same, other women who are like, reached out to this contact and I didn't know how it was going to go. And now I have a partnership. Seeing things of like, okay, where can I go and where can I be that's going to help me to think about it in different ways. Like even in investments that I was making in my team, figuring out who I wanted to hire first. That was a question I had brought to my mastermind as well. And being able to kind of workshop that idea was so great. Or even for having different programs and things that I was coming up with, like streams of income, right? Like I remember there was this one girl in my mastermind, she was talking about like a side hustle that she wanted to pursue. And so she was deciding between two different ideas. And we literally talked it out with her about like, what appeals to us and what we see and everything. And she was able to walk out of that space with so much clarity about what she was going to do next. And then, someone else threw out a contact that could help her as she was getting that started. And so that is literally the best part of the community, that happens with these masterminds. And you're being held, like you're being challenged and supported. And all of that helps you move faster and with more confidence. And like you can even think about when it comes to, like investing, right? So say that you've really wanted to get into real estate investing and the idea of having a rental property is so exciting to you. And, maybe you have a couple of people in your life who are that sounds challenging. Like that seems like that's going to be hard. Or you have other people who are like, oh, wow, like that seems like that's going to cost a lot of money. Or some other people who are like, wow, that's going to take a lot of time. And then say you bring that to, the mastermind community and somebody's like, oh, I have 3 rental properties. This is what I would have done if I was started from the beginning. Or, hey, there's actually like somebody who is bringing this property idea to me. Maybe you want to, check it out because it's near your area. It's like these are sort of things that happen. And masterminds have taught me that growth is both individual and collective. So you do your inner work for sure, but your environment matters just as much. Your thought processes really expand in that way when you're maybe sharing with other people who are not focused on the same sort of investment strategy. And then you talk to somebody who's done it, and that automatically makes you feel like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. So all of this is why I've been creating something really special behind the scenes. And this is a space that brings together high-achieving women who want to grow their wealth, their confidence, and their capacity in community. It's called the Rich to Wealthy Collective. This is a group for women who are already successful, but know there's another level available to them financially, emotionally, and energetically. A space where you can talk openly about your big goals, your fears, your money questions, and your real life without feeling judged. My vision for this collective is exactly what I've experienced in my own best mastermind rooms. The connection, honesty, support, and growth, but with a deep financial focus and a trauma-informed lens. I'm going to dive into all the details of the collective in the next episode, but for now, if this is already resonating with you, I invite you to join the waitlist. Being on the waitlist means you'll get first access when doors open, all the details, and any early perks before it's shared publicly. You can join at the link in the show notes, and I would love to see you there. So your action step for this week is simple but powerful. Reflect on this question. Who am I surrounded by, and how are they shaping my relationship with money, success, and possibility? Next, I want you to write down 3 qualities you'd want in your ideal money community. For example, could be honesty, ambition, safety, or encouragement. This will help you get clear on the kind of space that would actually support your growth. So in the next episode, I'm going to break down exactly what the Rich to Wealthy Collective is, who it's for, what you'll experience inside, and why I created it. If you've ever wanted a money community that actually gets you, don't miss this one. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I hope the insights shared in this episode have inspired you to take one small action step toward a more empowered relationship with money. If you're ready to take control of your finances like the rich bitch you are, I invite you to book a 90-minute Organize Your Money Honey intensive with me. You'll walk away with a crystal clear financial plan, a budget you'll actually stick to, and actionable steps to start saving and investing faster. Head to the link in the show notes to book your spot. I'm so grateful to be part of your financial journey, and I can't wait to see all the incredible moves you'll make. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.